Hi everyone, my name is Patrick. I'm the founder of PJCP and welcome to my studio. Today we are joined by my amazing creative director, Nick, and we are going to talk about marbling Christmas ornaments. Marbling has just blown up recently. Like, it's such a cool trend right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of everywhere. It's definitely on the trend, and it's something that's really fun, and we're going to apply that theme to Christmas.
Nice. So we're going to do Christmas ornaments. We've gotten these plastic balls. Can you use glass?
Yep, you can absolutely use glass or plastic, whichever one's most convenient.
You could probably even use ones you already have at home. Just
Absolutely.
repaint them, right?
Absolutely.
Get some ugly ones last year, just repaint them.
We love a recycle.
So our first step is picking the paint colors, right?
Yep.
What goes into that?
So we definitely learned through a little bit of testing and some of our favorite ornaments that the more contrast you have, the more successful the ornament, especially when you're looking at visibility from far away on your tree. So definitely always having a white, that is something that adds to the marbling tone. Having a really, really dark color to highly contrast that, and having two medium tones, preferably something really bright. And then we're talking about holidays, so I always recommend something metallic, silver, gold, copper, pewter, any kind of thing in there to add a little bit of like shimmer and holiday magic.
Gorgeous. Now, with this, you can't just like get paint and use it, right? We have to mix it with a medium. Tell us what the medium does.
Yeah, so obviously if you want to adjust any of your colors, like adding black to that, so making sure your color of your paint is perfect before you start, and then adding in a medium basically will make sure that when you start to layer your paint within your
They become clairvoyant.
Yeah. Yeah. Your medium.
They're fortune balls.
They could be.
They could be.
Marble a fortune ball?
Yes, we could.
You basically, you're going to start to layer the paint in a pouring cup before you start to pour over the ornament. The medium just keeps the paint separate so that you get a true distinction of color as you start to
blend. Like if you did red and green, they'd just end up with a brown ornament.
You'd have a brown ornament. Which,
nice.
You know.
Everyone has a favorite color. So we've put our paint in here, we've mixed our medium in, then tell us what's the pouring cup.
So basically you're going to start to layer your color. So the thicker the layers, the thicker the veins on the ornament will be. So what we're going to do is basically, and there's no particular order, it's really kind of how much color you want on your ornament here. So we're going to start with our darker color, add in the metallic next, and we're going to do 4 pretty big, like solid pours to kind of show you an example of what a really thick vein will look like on the ornament.
This is kind of an example of a thicker vein. You can see some of our samples here are much tighter of a pattern, is one way to think about it. That's more layers.
Yep.
Great. And you're not mixing that, right?
Good question. Very good question. The less you kind of, the less you fuss with the paint, the better the pour will actually be. So you don't really want to help it blend on its own. You really want to keep the paint as separate as possible.
So it feels like you should mix it, but don't touch it.
Yeah. So this is going to be a really thick vein, so we're going to pour this on for you, and then here we go.
Everyone loves a thick vein.
So the trick here too is to start at the top and kind of go really slowly, and you can go around the edge of the cup. So I'm not getting a ton of color here, so I'm going to make another loop and hopefully get some of that on the front there.
Nice. It does take a lot of paint, we've learned, but you're going to get the greatest results.
So here you can see a lot of that color blending is in the cup right here. So I'm just going to help this along with a little bit of a scoop there. That's going to give us some color veins like down the front, just to make sure we get all that in there.
Nice.
Having a small like wand or like a utensil here to kind of help roll this paint underneath to make sure that you totally get coverage underneath of the ornament is like a nice trick. Don't worry about being super perfect. The paint's going to keep dripping over it, so it's going to cover, but it's really just to make sure you get paint.
It'll smooth itself out.
Yeah, that's a great way of saying that.
We also made this kind of makeshift holder for these, just out of a piece of styrofoam from the craft store and some dowels.
Yeah, so this is an example of, you can see this is more solid color. So this is a very white-based ornament with lots of little color. I've pre-mixed a much more layered colored effect. This will give you a much thinner veining color to kind of show you the contrast of the two examples.
It's very cathartic.
Yes.
I also think this is a great craft for someone who maybe isn't the most artistic. You can really hardly mess this up.
Yeah, and you can see this has a lot of stripes in it. A really nice, lots of thinner lines. And the other one had a much sort of thicker aesthetic. This is beautiful. It's also so therapeutic.
Yeah.
It's just very beautiful to kind of watch. as it. And then again, we're just going to kind of roll the paint here just to make sure we get full coverage on the ornament. And again, that'll drip over top of it. It smooth itself out, which is really great.
Nice. Dry overnight, right?
Dry overnight.
Put the little top back on and you have an ornament.
It's great.
Awesome. Have fun decorating.
Happy holidays.